A winged figure photographed just days before the deadly Silver Bridge collapse. A silent humanoid gliding over Phoenix witnessed by multiple people, and terrifying footage of something with glowing red eyes taking flight deep in the woods. These are mysterious Mothman encounters caught on camera. Now, I think with the case of Mothman, it makes sense to start at the beginning. So this photograph of the Silver Bridge connecting Point Pleasant, West Virginia to Gallipolis, Ohio was taken way back in December of 1967. Just days later, the bridge would collapse and 46 people would die in the accident. But do you notice the dark shape over the bridge? That's not damage to the photo. The photographer noticed this thing flying overhead at the time. Multiple witnesses did. Whatever it was didn't look like a bird, at least not a normal sized bird. See, in and around this time, people have been spotting a large winged creature perching on this bridge, and there are also multiple accounts from people claiming to have come face to face with this creature swooping down from the sky or glaring at them in the middle of the road at night. They described it as a large creature with wings, long legs, and bright red eyes. Sort of half man, half moth type thing. It became known as the Mothman. Sightings have petered out since this cluster of reports at the time, but you still get reports and even photos and footage today that look a lot like the descriptions of the creature, mostly in Ohio and West Virginia, but not exclusively. Take this next case, for example. This happened in Phoenix back in March of 2020. The uploader said that they noticed this thing while sitting in their backyard, a black object moving slowly from northeast to southwest about a mile high. He immediately clocked how strange the shape was. It clearly wasn't a plane, but it didn't look like a bird either. It was this humanoid-looking figure with wings. The uploader's wife commented that it looked like a giant bumblebee. They started recording the thing, and once zoomed in on it, they noticed it looked like it was spinning as it was moving. It was also completely silent. Now, is there something actually in the sky here, or is this a hoax? Well, what's also interesting about this case, and you don't get this often with videos like this, there were actually multiple witnesses, so we also have footage captured by someone else. Uploaded to YouTube by Bailey18 on March 24th, 2020, she posted the link in the comments of a Reddit page sharing the previous video that we just showed. She said her son had spotted this thing before he started recording. So what on earth is it? A Mothman type creature? A UAP? Something more ordinary? Let us know what you think down in the comments. On the 20th of November 2016, a man in Mason County, West Virginia was driving along the highway at night when he spotted something flying overhead. Being that it was a quiet night, he casually pulled over to see if he could get a better look. He stepped out of the car and saw this large winged creature gliding around in circles overhead. He pulled out his phone, snapped some images which would become some of the most well-known pieces of supposed Mothman evidence. The photographer sent the pictures to a local news station, WCHS. The station aired the pictures in a November 21, 2016 report, and they are pretty eye-catching images. They're grainy, sure, but the thing does look Mothmanish to me. What do you think though? Are these pictures genuine? Are we looking at a bat or a bird with something in its mouth? Or are these photos just outright hoaxes? Share your thoughts down below. Now that unbelievable footage was reportedly captured back in 2000 by an amateur outdoorsman. He spent a lot of his free time hiking through the remote wilderness and filming whatever caught his eye along the way. According to the story behind the video, it was recorded in September of 2000 near a logging trail. The hiker had wandered off the main trail that afternoon, hoping to get a better view over a section of dense forest he hadn't explored before. He had his camcorder with him as usual and had been filming different parts of the hike throughout the day. Before hitting record on this particular clip, he said he noticed movement further back in the trees. His first thought was probably a black bear, so he stayed where he was and kept watching without getting any closer. But then something else about the thing caught his attention. Glowing red specks. Were those its eyes? Well, curious, he started recording, and moments later, the thing unfurled a pair of wings and took flight. A clearly Mothman-looking creature. This next clip was shared on TikTok by a 47-year-old Arkansas man named Robert. He was walking through the woods one night with his dog Ollie, and when it started acting strange, barking at something in the bushes. Robert tried to figure out what his dog was so worked up about. He looked around trying to spot whatever might be lurking nearby, and then he captured this.
What the hell is that? What the fuck is that?
The strange screeching noise is unsettling enough on its own, but look at those glowing red eyes. Some commenters believe there was something stranger than a wolf lurking in those bushes, possibly even the Mothman, especially given the bright red eyes. Interestingly, Arkansas does have some Mothman-like sightings. The state doesn't have one famous case that everyone knows about, but it does have a handful of creepy reports. One of the better-known reports comes from northern Arkansas in 2021. A witness claimed they were outside at night when they noticed what they described as a giant Batman-like figure gliding overhead. According to the account, it had a distinctly human shape with enormous wings extending from its back. It wasn't flapping like a bird. Instead, it seemed to glide effortlessly through the air before disappearing into the darkness. And then there are the stories from central Arkansas. One paranormal investigation reportedly took a frightening turn when members of a ghost hunting group claimed that a massive winged creature suddenly flew toward them before landing in a nearby tree. They described it as dark, unnaturally large, and unlike any owl or hawk that they'd ever seen. Another strange account came from the Little Rock area, where a woman claimed that she repeatedly encountered this enormous winged humanoid perched on rooftops and flying overhead at night. She described wings so wide they seemed to stretch across the roofs of the houses. Well, red eyes, wings, gliding instead of flapping. This looks like a Mothman caught on camera if I've ever seen one. This footage was said to have been captured just outside Marietta, Ohio, a quiet town near the Ohio River. It was late at night when the cameraman noticed something strange moving above the trees. At first he thought it was a large bird, but as it drifted closer, it looked more bat-like. But it was a very big bat with glowing reddish eyes, and it didn't make a sound. Well, yeah, I didn't like that thing. This one looks more like your classic demonic type entity rather than strictly a Mothman type creature. But given we don't really know what Mothman is, aside from it being a large winged monster, I thought I'd include this clip. Nobody seems to know where the original upload comes from. This footage has been reposted countless times, but it's easy to see why. This is a freaky looking video, and even with this extended close-up view of the thing, it never looks unrealistic to me. Could be someone in a suit, for sure, but it looks convincing. I mean, I could believe this was a real animal. Certainly doesn't look like AI, especially because the video came out before AI videos started just clogging up the internet. The thing I hate most about this thing are its hands. The fingers, or I guess claws, are so long and freaky looking. Imagine those things clawing at your face. And finally, we have another mysterious clip straight out of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where a security camera captured what can only be described as a large winged creature swooping past the frame. Some commenters said it could be a bug, but I don't know about that. I know bugs and insects can look larger than they are if they're right up on the lens, but this thing flies past and it just takes up too much of the frame, and I could be wrong, but there also seems to be too much bulk to it. There are tons of opinions in the comments, but the two most frequent guesses, aside from the video being fake of course, are Mothman and Batman, and I will admit, I do see the Batman resemblance. With all that said, that's been the video, and I'll catch you, yes you specifically, in the next one.